The moment I pushed through those heavy oak doors, the entire federal courtroom went quiet. My service dress jacket kept my spine perfectly straight, ribbons aligned, metal catching the overhead lights. I could feel eyes moving over my uniform, stalling on my rank insignia. Third row, there they were. My father leaned over to my mother and let out that little wheezing laugh of his. My mother sighed and shook her head, the exact same look she used to give me whenever I'd embarrassed her in public. Like my uniform was just a costume I liked to play dress-up in. I kept walking, heels clicking clean against the marble floor. I set my folder down behind the prosecution table, faced forward, and let the room stare. "All rise." The judge walked in, adjusted his glasses, and started reading the docket. "Case number, the United States versus..." His eyes found me. He stopped mid-sentence. The air in the room turned hard. "Dear God," he whispered into the microphone. "Captain Hale, Operation Nightshade." The two federal marshals near the bench snapped instantly to attention. Somewhere behind me, I heard my father's laugh die in his throat. 2 weeks earlier, they'd been laughing for real. Sunday dinner had turned into my older brother's personal stage, same as always. "It's just a bureaucratic mix-up," he'd said, grinning that easy startup grin of his, talking about a federal indictment like it was a parking ticket. Wire fraud, export violations. He made it all sound so small. My father beamed with pride. "My boy's lawyers will crush it." Then my brother turned to me. "Hey, Legal Eagle, maybe you can run down to the courthouse, file something for my team. Grab them coffee while you're at it." They all laughed, warm, certain, cruel in exactly how easy it was for them. I smiled back, polite as glass. But inside, something cold and professional clicked quietly into place, as neat and precise as a round chambering into a rifle. Now, standing in this courtroom, I felt that same click again. Except this time, it had teeth. People assume silence is empty. In my world, silence is a weapon. My actual office wasn't some beige cubicle. It was a windowless briefing room, the kind where phones stay locked outside the door and the only sound is filtered air circulating overhead. That's where my commanding officer sat and watched me lay out, slide by slide, exactly what my brother had done. "Good morning, sir." Subject, Blake Hale. Saying his name out loud in that room tasted like metal. He routed controlled components through a shell company overseas. We have the wire transfers, the identifiers, and the server logs from the original warrant. A general's jaw visibly tightened. My commanding officer's expression never moved. "This isn't just fraud, Captain," he said. "It's a breach." "The platform he touched protects pilots," I said. "One hole is enough." After that briefing, I crossed a line I'd been trained my entire career never to blur. I walked into my commander's office, stood at attention, and formally recused myself from prosecuting the case against my own brother. He gave one grim nod. "Right move." And I walked out feeling completely hollow, benched again, the same way I'd always felt at every family dinner growing up. My brother's civilian lawyers didn't share my sense of ethics, apparently. A week later, their motion to dismiss landed on our desks. Fruit of the poison tree, improper warrant, an overzealous junior officer with a personal vendetta. Me, translated into a courtroom insult. My desk phone rang. My commander's voice was completely flat. "Your recusal was from prosecuting, not from testifying about your own work. The judge wants the originating investigator sworn in on the affidavit." That night, my mother called, her voice bright and brittle. "We're all coming tomorrow to support your brother." "Of course," I said. "I'll see you there." I didn't spend that night drafting arguments. I opened my own 200-page affidavit and highlighted every timestamp, every statute, every single step they had just dared me to defend out loud in open court. On the stand, the oath felt almost weightless in my hand. All the actual weight was already behind me, in 200 pages of work. My parents watched the myth they'd built around my brother start to crack in real time. His lawyer, in an expensive suit, stood up. "Your Honor, this investigation was amateur hour. Captain Hale acted out of personal animus." The judge didn't even look at him. He looked straight at me. "Captain Hale authored the Nightshade Protocol," he said. "We teach it." I opened my binder and spoke exactly like I was back in that windowless briefing room. Dates, IP addresses, export control categories, the exact statute my brother had violated while joking about coffee just 2 weeks earlier. When the defense attorney tried to interrupt, the judge cut him off cold. Let her finish. By the time I got to the bank records from the shell company, my brother's grin was completely gone. My father's never came back either. My mother's hands hovered near her throat, finding nothing but consequences. Cross-examination never even came. The lawyer sat back down, gray-faced. The judge's gavel came down like a lock clicking shut. Motion denied. Bail denied. The defendant is remanded into custody. The marshals lifted my brother to his feet. The cuffs clicked shut. Sharp, final, far too loud in that quiet room. He looked at me once, wet-eyed. I didn't move. Outside, my commanding officer was waiting. One nod. Done. My parents stayed behind in the gallery, staring at me like I was a complete stranger. I walked out into the winter sun, uniform steady, and for the first time in my life, the silence finally belonged to me. Weeks later, my brother took a plea deal, 15 years, written in black ink. An email arrived from my father not long after. Just 2 words. Proud, sorry. I archived it, untouched.